morning.
Good morning,
Meet Max,
What's up?
better known as a Pushbike Surfer. Passionate, curious, and always chasing adventure. Max was born and raised in California, inspired by his father. He grew up exploring the world on two wheels, embracing the freedom of the open road. Now he calls Okinawa home. By day, he's an English teacher at a local elementary school. But beyond the classroom, his life is a rhythm of the movement, riding the waves, pushing the pedals, and building his brand, Slowswell. Together with his Okinawan wife, Max has crafted a lifestyle where passion meets purpose, where curiosity fuels every ride, and where adventure is found in every tide. Today we rode 27 kilometers, diving into his journey, his roots, his love for cycling and surfing, life in Okinawa, and a mindset that keeps moving forward. This is Max, the Pushbike Surfer.
My name is Max, and I'm from Los Angeles, California, born and raised there for 18 years, and I started traveling around, Australia and Asia from a pretty young age, from 18. So that's inspired me to do more of what I do now, and live in different parts of the world. And so I ended up in Okinawa, and my wife is from Okinawa, as you know, and I've been living here for about a year and a half now. And now I'm teaching English at a elementary school in Ginawan, and just enjoying the balance of life, like cycling and being with my wife and surfing, like all the hobbies that comes with being in Okinawa.
So how long have you been riding?
I've been riding a bike since I was 2.5 years old, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, my dad started me on a bike from as early as I can remember, and I was off training wheels, like the 3 wheels, when I was about 2.5 or 3. That's when I consider I started riding a 2-wheel bike, is 2.5.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your dad also rode cycles too?
Yeah, like as long as I've been alive, I can remember him being on a bike, and I have pictures of him even before I was born on bicycles. Like he would race around the mountains in Los Angeles when mountain biking first kind of got invented in California.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool history, my dad. Yeah, I ride a Specialized Diverge. It's technically called a gravel bike, and it's capable of riding on mountains and roads. It's probably not as capable if you're riding with road bikes, or not as capable if you're riding with mountain bikes, but it has the best balance of both, in my opinion, of bikes. Not just this specific bike, but gravel bikes in general, because you can, we saw a lot of different roads we could take, and if those roads are dirt, like many are in Okinawa, I can just turn on that dirt road with this bike.
It looks thicker than I've ever seen before.
Yeah, much thicker than the tires like you guys are riding on the bikes, but they have the pros and cons. Like yours are faster, so I have to work a little harder.
Yeah, I feel kind of like cheating a little bit.
No.
I can go faster.
No, I could hear you today. I could hear you behind me coasting. I was like, oh no, I'm going too slow.
Oh yeah, when I stopped.
When you stopped pedaling,
yeah.
I was conscious of you behind me. I was like, oh, okay, I need to go a little bit faster.
I noticed that.
Yeah, I've always been one to dive into projects and find some creative outlet, whether it's in school or in my work life, like finding a way to be creative at work, or in my personal time, finding a way to be creative. And being around people who are creative always helped me stay creative. So I guess while I'm being a teacher, I've always found that designing, whether it's for social media or whether it's for in-person events, making something and being creative that way has been something I've been passionate about for a long time. I think the most important thing for me is being part of a community and building a community, which is why I wanted to start the group rides, because after my last job in the US, when I worked for Specialized, I was doing kind of an event planning role, and after I built kind of this community around my work, I felt it was really powerful. You can do anything as a community if everyone is kind of a team in that community. So mixing the creativity of design and just random things on Canva and whatnot, and designing flags. Like you've seen me sewing flags. Having that community is just as important for me.
Yeah, it totally makes sense.
Slowswell is the name of the brand, and I started from an inspiration of surfers and other creative people in the surf industry. And I thought, like, all the places Aine and I have traveled to, it would be nice to do something commemorative of like places we really enjoy to think of this memory. And we ended up making flags for like friends' kids and businesses, and just for like personal stuff, like painting on the flags things we like. But right now it's kind of taking a turn, because I tried putting the flags into a shop and they didn't really do so well, to be honest, in a coffee shop. Maybe it was the price, or who knows, you know how it is, like you have to think of these kinds of things. But my passion is in surfing and cycling, so Slowswell is gonna encompass both of those things for me. And
Sounds like the whole thing is called Slowswell.
yeah,
Surfing, cycling, you know, like all about balance.
yeah, and you know, from today, stopping at a coffee shop and taking our time to do whatever, and not being too serious about okay, we need to hit 30 kilometers as fast as possible, or like we need to go this slow. It's kind of just go with the flow, right? Max です。
マックスさん、
Max。
ケイタです。よろしくお願いします。
ここのボスです。
あ、ボス。
あ
よろしくお願いします。
めっちゃぐーって泣き人まで回って。
マジ？
屋久島から
うん。
屋久島と
あ、郡島行って。
これ一番本当手前まで行って。
橋越えないで。
そうそう
こう戻ってきたんだ。
足パンパン。やばいよ。
すげえ、てかガチ格好だね。
And that's Slowswell isn't necessarily meaning like always be slow, but you can't change the tides. The tides do their own thing. So that's kind of what I want to do with Slowswell, and of course be focused on the community aspect of it in cycling and surfing and people who enjoy outside. That's really the foundation of it.
I get you.
And you've been to LA and you've traveled a bunch, so you know how important that balance is of being in a place where you feel comfortable, and Okinawa kind of represents the same idea, where you can go to a mountain and be totally secluded with like the bugs and the birds and the snakes, and just hear these things and feel so alone. But also you can go to Naha, and then you can go to the beach, and you have like this environment where you can be in different places and feel different things. So LA and Okinawa and living in Australia as well, they've all kind of been this like ocean mountain like mixture. Yeah, they're all kind of similar in ways, but obviously with like the different cultures of Australia and Los Angeles and Okinawa. Yeah, like you said, I'm lucky to be in that position, to have a decision, right? And I think I was lucky to have a family that inspires world travel. My dad grew up in Indonesia, actually, and so I grew up eating Indonesian food at home. And I was like, well, we don't really have Indonesian restaurants in Los Angeles at that time, like in the 90s. It wasn't super popular. But having this kind of background of it, intercultural, like many cultures, being a part of my inspiration for life, and then my parents and my sister pushing me to go backpack in Australia when I was 18 instead of like diving right into college to see the world a little bit. That kind of made me want to try living in different places more. That made me want to try living in different places more. And to answer your direct question, I could see myself living in Los Angeles for the rest of my life, just because I'm used to it and I love the balance of the mountains and the ocean, and it's sunny like 300 days of the year, if not more. Barely rains, and there's great food and great people. It's very diverse. I was always taught like diversity is the world's greatest strength. Because if you have diverse people around you, you can learn more than you can even think about, because you're just getting fed a lot of different information. So I could see myself living in LA, but also I could see myself living in Okinawa for the rest of my life, just because, you know, Aine is from Okinawa and I like it here. I feel comfortable. I feel like it's safe and steady. My job is steady, and I meet people like you who like surfing and trying new things. I can text and be like, yo, actually, like, let's try and design a shoe. And you'd be like, all right, let's do it. Let's see what happens. Like, let's make it out of whatever material we can recycle from the ocean or something. And you would be into it. And I like this kind of feeling in Okinawa with people like this. Yeah, I think that's probably my greatest strength in life, is like my adaptability. And I've been turned down at job interviews, you know, like, oh, sorry, you're not fit for the job. And I'm just thinking like, yeah, I don't have the qualifications like on paper, but I know like I'm adaptable to different environments and I could do it. And I'm super happy that I'm in Okinawa because it's teaching me a lot, and I've learned to adapt a lot in my work. Teaching with Japanese teachers, like every period, right, changes the different Tanin sensei. So I have to learn to work with about 30 different people in 1 week and adjust to their style. So I like it though. That's one of my favorite things, is it's a community, and I can keep honing the skill, like sharpening the skill of staying adaptable. And I love that the kids are curious, you know, and I think that's the most important thing, is like staying curious, questioning things like, what is this like, or what is this like, how can I learn to do this? And of course not everybody's interested in learning English, and that's okay, but like you said, they're learning to be one, and I think that's really special in the Japanese school, is like helping somebody or helping the community to make sure that thing is working, like everything is clean and organized, and everybody has to do their part. And that's something new to me. Like in the US, like I don't need to clean that, like somebody gets paid to clean that, so I don't need to do that. But here it's a really good perspective to have. The noise is a
it's alright. I think you know, your voice is catched already. Thanks for telling me about yourself and what you do, and some of your really good mindset. And I really enjoyed the riding today.
That was fun.
Yeah.
We need to do it again.
Yeah.
And
we call it donuts. What?
Yeah, and for the camera, if we want to introduce it now, it means we have to start doing it. I didn't start this in Costa Mesa, you know, a suburb of Orange County, but when the first Specialized shop opened up in the US, it was in Costa Mesa, and I think the assistant manager, I forget what his position was, but they started a ride called the Donut Ride, and I think they even had a donut ride in their like previous state where they're from, and they brought it to Costa Mesa. And so I kind of want to extend that from my experience leading the donut ride at that shop. Sorry, it's called the Donut Ride. and do that here with you. And yeah, I've messaged a couple other shops to see if they're interested, but like I said earlier, like if I don't make a date and a time, it's probably just gonna stay up in the universe until the date and the time comes. So yeah, we can start it whenever. All we need is, honestly, we could have called today the Donut Ride, and it would have been the start. And there's so many places like this, and I've only ridden up here 2 or 3 times now, and I enjoy it every time because, like you said, how peaceful it is. And you know, we turn right on one road and left on another road, and there's this beautiful house like playing Chinese music, like traditional Chinese music, and then there's like a random hotel, and it's just, you don't know what you're gonna find, and it's all while we can kind of go slow and look around and talk with each other. It's so good. I can't enjoy my time any better. And something that's similar to it is like when you're sitting out in the lineup, right? Like this is like the endless lineup conversation on bikes, because like maybe when we bomb a hill, right? Or like when we climb a hill, that's kind of the wave. And then when we're riding on flat, it's just like, that's when you're waiting for the swell and we're waiting for the set. And you can talk and relax and look around and enjoy the view. It's perfect. I'm so glad we finally did it.
Yeah, man, thank you so much.
Thanks, dude. That was fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I have 28.1. Oh, well, I did the bridge. I did the bridge 3 times. 27, right? Yeah. I was wondering why I said 2 kilometers way back there and it felt like 3 kilometers. So I'm sorry about that.